So Tottenham Hotspur have only won 9 Premier League games in the last 9 months, and Tottenham fans have every reason to be frustrated because money has been spent, but they've simply not been good enough. Now, I've seen a lot of outrage on the manager, Ange sack Ange. And Ange is not blameless. Ange can be stubborn with his tactics. He can be reluctant to give players a chance. It took so long for Bergwall to play. It took so long for Spence to play. But I don't think Ange is the real problem at Tottenham Hotspur. And I wanted to make a raw video that is mostly pretty much unscripted, really talking about Tottenham and deep diving into what their problems are. But first of all, I want to just touch upon the story because I've seen a few Tottenham fans online be really angry about this, that Ange isn't being sacked. And I just want to give you quickly my thoughts on Ange. Now, Ange Postecoglou retains full backing within Tottenham, blah, 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 blah. Clubs are believed to be trying to put the right structures in place and people around him, blah, blah, blah. Alistair Gold, good journalist. But I'm going to say this now. This came out 3 weeks before Erik ten Hag was sacked. It doesn't mean that Ange is safe. Second of all, why aren't they spending in January? If they were backing Ange, why aren't they spending in January? Now, I don't think Ange is blameless, but the real problem at Tottenham Hotspur goes beyond Ange. It goes to those above Ange. And I'm going to tell you why. As a Manchester United fan, I think that Tottenham fans should be a little bit more patient with Ange. First reason, if you sack him now, who's going to come in that is a world-class manager that wants to come to Spurs and take you at levels right now at this moment in time? Second of all, you're only really early days in this project. Third of all, look at the injuries. Look at Newcastle last season, how they fell off with the injuries. Look at them now. I think Ange is having an Eddie Howe Newcastle type season last year with the injuries. I think the injuries play a massive impact. But I want to tell you this. It is January 17th. I know Tottenham went in for Kolo Muani, and I actually think that would have been a better deal than many people think. But they've not signed anybody. 17th. They've not signed a left back. They've not signed a centre back or a winger. And they're the 3 positions they need to look at. And they've not done that. So I don't think they're backing Ange. Ange, not blameless. But he's playing an 18-year-old midfielder who can play right back sometimes at centre back. He's playing Jed Spence, who couldn't even get a sniff at left back, who has been Tottenham's best fullback. Shout out to Jed Spence. And their brightest player right now is an 18-year-old in midfield called Lucas Bergwall. Son is not the Son he used to be. He's still a good player, but if you play him once a week, he's more energetic. Kulusevski is probably best in the 10 role. Brennan Johnson is hot and cold in the right wing spot. He can score goals, but hot and cold. You clearly need that winger. You need someone that you can rotate Solanke with, because I think Solanke's great, but he needs a rest. And the defence is absolutely torn to pieces. Your goalkeeper's out, your 2 best centre-backs are out, and while Archie Gray's done well, is not a magician. So I want to talk about Tottenham, and I want to talk about the real problems at Tottenham Hotspur, and why I don't think sacking Ange would save any problems right now. I don't. I think it's not good enough. They have a case to sack Ange, and Ange is not blameless. He's stubborn. And I was really disappointed with how he played versus Arsenal, because Arsenal were gettable and Tottenham got dominated by Arsenal for most of that game. And I'm a Man United fan that really enjoys the Arsenal downfall. Wanted to watch AFTV, thought, if Tottenham can get a result today, and they didn't. You didn't, and you disappointed me versus Arsenal. But there's a lot of problems at Tottenham, and we need to talk about Tottenham. We need to talk about the squad. We need to talk about Ange Postecoglou. I just want to say, Bergvall, gem, talent, physically good, technically good. Archie Gray, been really impressive. I think that Tottenham have a good project, and people may call me crazy, people may call me mad, but I still think Tottenham have one of, and maybe you'll think I'm mad, one of the most exciting projects in football. And that might not look that way right now. It might not look that way right now. I think hear me out. If Tottenham have a good summer and Ange stays and he gets, the backing and the young players, he gets a bit of luck with injuries and the young players develop, I think Tottenham could be in a good position next year. And I think right now most Tottenham fans won't hear what I'm saying, because, you're going to feel bad. You've lost to Arsenal. It wasn't a good performance. You've won 9 games in the last 9 months. I mean, there's so many reasons to be angry and frustrated. But I've said this. Despite poor form, this is what I said, Tottenham is still one of the most exciting projects. Graham Bergwall immense recently. Vuskovic set to join you guys. I think he's top scoring under 18 in top 5 leagues. He's a centre back. They've got Mikey Moore, unbelievable talent. Sarge Young. Adorgiano has been out for him, but good talent. Odebear's not really played, and he was the winger signing, and he is a talent in terms of a prospect. I haven't watched loads of Lancashire, Divine, Donnelly, and Phillip, but I know some of them have been good. You've got the Yan guy that's come in as well. And I believe that they've not been good enough at all. But I believe that Ange isn't blameless, but I believe that the injuries have hit them really bad. That I look at sort of Newcastle of last season and how the injuries hit them, particularly, Botman was a huge injury. Tonali being out was a massive thing, and just the difference that having, some defenders back now. Obviously, Botman's only just come back, but Tonali in the side and a bit of luck with injuries and, fullbacks has made at Newcastle. And I think Tottenham, they need to sign left back, they need to sign a left centre back, and they need to sign a top winger. And I think Cardozo will happen. If Tottenham go out and they sign top players, I'm talking, it doesn't even have to be like an elite, but like a Semenyo and Mbeumo. If they go out and they sign, like a Hato that could play left back and left centre back, cover two birds with one stone, they get Cardozo in and they get a bit of luck with injuries and the core players stay fit. I think there's something there at Tottenham. I think Ange is building something, and he hasn't really got to play with what he's building because Van der Ven's injured, Romero's injured, and they are top players, Van der Ven and Romero, and Tottenham are miles better with them fit. The attack hasn't been good enough. But you think Kulusevski, Bergvall, Cardozo, midfield three, you've got Sarr as an option, Bentancur as an option, Maddison and Basuma as options. Archie Gray can also be an option. Maybe you get another fullback in to challenge Porro, or you Jed Spence goes back to right back, you sign a left back to challenge a Doggy, Van der Ven and Romero fit, Solanke up top, you put a Semenyo and Mbeumo there that's Premier League proven, and then Mikey Moore comes through on the other side. And that's, for me, in my opinion, a good starting 11 at Tottenham. It really is, because, as I said, Ange isn't blameless, and this is a very, very unscripted video, and I don't want to sound repetitive, but I don't personally, and maybe I'm crazy, I'm a Man United fan, I still wouldn't sack Ange, despite 9 wins in 9 months, despite how bad Tottenham have been, because look at these players out. This is the equivalent of Arsenal without Romero. This is the equivalent. This is equivalent of Arsenal. Romero is their Gabriel. Mickey Van der Ven's their Saliba. That's Arsenal without. Romero is their Gabriel. Mickey Van der Ven's their Saliba. What am I saying? That is Arsenal without Gabriel and Saliba. Vicario is their Raya. That's Arsenal without Raya. Bentancur's probably their, I don't know, their party. One of them, if it was, that's them without significant players. Odegaard would be like, he'd probably start a lot of games for Tottenham, maybe like a Trossard Martinelli type player as well. That's a big miss. Werner being out now is a bigger miss than people may believe it is. A Doggy, that's, no Calafiori or Miles Lewis-Skelly looks their starting left back now. So that is no Miles Lewis-Skelly or Calafiori with a Doggy and Ben Davies out. They've got 4 of their 5 backline out. They've got one of their best midfielders out. They've got their goalkeeper out, and they're struggling in a little bit of attack. And the new winger they brought in is out. And you also have to remember this. Ange got back this summer, you can say, but Ange only had one signing that wasn't a teenager in the summer. Ange last year struggled and had injury issues and fell off. And all you did was bring in Solanke, who should have come in the season before to replace Harry Kane. You brought in one player that wasn't a teenager. Archie Gray and Bergvall have been great, but they are teenagers. Tottenham brought in one player that wasn't a teenager for Ange last season. And I know money's been spent, but Tottenham need ready-made Premier League proven players now. A Hato in defence would be fine. If you get luck with Mickey Van der Ven saying fit, a Hato in defence would be an unbelievable signing. A Semenyo or an Mbeumo on the wing could make such a difference. Cardozo, just a stability at DM. Then you've got Archie Gray. Mikey Moore staying fit, I think he's a talent. Vuskovic coming in as well can also offer centre-back depth. Vuskovic. And I think it's hard to really judge Tottenham yet, because I feel that if Ange got luck with injuries, because you had a period where I think you'd won 9 out of 12 games and you had a bit of luck with fitness, because when everybody is fit, Tottenham are playing well. It's not like Ten Hag when everyone was fit at Man United and we were still shite and we were still playing good football and bad football and being dominated. When everyone is fit for Tottenham, they've shown they can play good football, and they've shown there's a system there. But I do think the injuries have been a massive disruption. They lacking on the wing. Their teenagers are the ones stepping up for them. They don't have a fit left back in the squad. Their 2 best centre backs are out. And I think they have to go and spend someone in January. Tottenham have to go and spend someone in January. Maybe they are having doubts about Ange. Maybe they are reluctant to spend. But Tottenham fans, if you want Ange out, who do you replace him with right now? Who right now do you replace him with? Because we've sacked Ten Hag for Amarin, and I think it's the right decision for Man United. But sacking Ten Hag for Amarin hasn't necessarily made us better. In fact, we were 15th in the league until we beat Southampton, and we didn't even deserve to beat. We've not got better. Now, I think it will be the right decision in the summer when we give Amarin back in. But who comes into Tottenham right now? Like, who comes into Tottenham right now? You could look at Iraola, Bournemouth. Bournemouth have spent a lot of money, but then you start the rebuild again. And it's like, you give Ange to the end of the season. Maybe if there's a top manager out there that you know is a better manager than Ange, you sack him in the summer, you get a new manager. But I wouldn't sack him now. And maybe that's an unpopular opinion because I see a lot of Tottenham fans very upset. A lot of Tottenham fans very upset with how things are going. And it's been bad. And the loss to Arsenal was bad. But young squad, injury issues. Look at Newcastle now, they're flying. I'm not saying that's going to happen to Tottenham next year. But I think it's really hard to judge Tottenham to everyone's fit because when everyone was fit, they showed elements of what they could do. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.